And good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Callum.
Hey,
Another episode of umbraCoffee 144.
yes,
Massive number, almost
yeah,
round number.
almost.
Uh,
We're still rapidly approaching that 3 year mark. We're like 8 weeks away from that, which is
no.
crazy because when we think back to last year, how the world was so different when we were at
Yep.
UK Fest with hundreds of people there, and now here we are stuck at home.
Yeah, but it also opens a lot of possibilities, and still maybe shows or recordings like that, live streams like that, are even more needed now. So thank you all for being with us. Subscribe, like, and do whatever you can to share us to some more people who might be interested in the content which we are sharing. And of
Yeah,
course, it was another really cool week in not only Umbraco community but also in the .NET and Microsoft ecosystem. It was
yeah, we had
Ignite week, Callum.
Microsoft Ignite, which took over 48 hours of the week across
Yeah.
many time zones, and yeah, there was a lot of really cool announcements and content. I mean, maybe people in the Umbraco community. I think you've probably got two types of people. You've got the people that just do Umbraco and the people that do .NET and then do a bit of Umbraco. And maybe I think there's stuff there that appeals for everyone. There was announcements for Azure Static Web Apps, which is one of my favorite services at the moment. Lets you do C Sharp actually now, C Sharp APIs.
Ooh,
You don't
really?
have to have a server or anything. It's a really nice way of hosting a simple static website. There was some fantastic announcements around like no code, low code solutions, bot framework, all of that.
Yeah, I have one link which we obviously will share with the people who are following our episodes. It's a Microsoft Ignite Book of News, and that's something what I love the most because I was not able to follow all the videos, all the transmissions, all the announcements, and this Book of News has a really nice separation and information gathered, what has changed, what was announced, what's new. Even dividing it into specific areas of Azure
Yeah.
ecosystem or business applications, so everyone can find any cool updates which might be and in most cases will do affect our activities and our development on Microsoft technologies. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of interesting stuff. Also, what I found was really cool, and I don't know if you've seen that, it was Microsoft Teams extensions which were focused on the kind of well-being and balance. They've integrated with Headspace, if I'm correct.
Headspace, yeah. I saw
Yeah.
that. I mean, Microsoft Teams has become a massive focus for them, hasn't it? Especially in the
Yep.
past, 6 months where we've all been stuck at home. Teams has grown rapidly. I'm not saying I like the product, but
Me
it is,
too.
it
Me
is
too.
impressive with the level of change that they've made in the past 6 months. And like
Yeah.
you say, focusing on not just, I know Zoom was doing it, we're going to do end-to-end encryption, and Teams is like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
care about your well-being instead. It's a
Yeah, it's
different.
it's a it's a it's a balance and
Yeah,
different aims and goals. But you know that we have a friend developer there right now.
you do. Yeah,
Ella is working there, so yeah, high five Ella for doing a great work there. And yeah, I know that the situation also forced products like that to adapt because no one expected this spike of users who will need to use products like that. So yeah, glad to see that people, companies and products that are looking on the different perspectives and different
and
aspects.
super impressive that Microsoft was able to run a virtual conference. I'm not sure exactly how many people joined, but they were
Yep.
targeting 250,000 people across the 48 hours. The entire thing was ran through Microsoft Teams. So I
Okay.
obviously presented a couple sessions. Carol presented a session. Morton
Mm-hmm.
from Umbraco also presented a session, and all of that was done through Teams. And they were using
Nice.
the currently furloughed employees from Microsoft stores to manage the team stream. So it's a proper like everything in house. They've done
Live setup.
everything in
Yeah.
house for the production. It's incredible.
Yeah. That's impressive. Yeah, I need to rewatch some sessions as well, and yeah, glad that we had a really nice representation of Umbraco community at Ignite this year. Uh,
Yeah.
But from the Umbraco perspective, we also had some pretty good news flying around this week, starting from Rune's product update,
Mm.
which in overview is describing more behind the upcoming release of Umbraco 8.8, some new release for .NET Core Alpha version 2.
Yeah.
And updates to products like Umbraco Cloud and other product roadmap, plus some links and information on getting familiar with block lists.
Well, that's not there yet. That's coming today.
Yeah.
I really want to see this blog. So there's a technical deep dive into getting started with the block editor, which I think a lot of people have been after. Of course, we had our YouTube video with Neil,
which is one of the popular.
like
You've seen that
views.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's a valuable resource. But I think the blog will be great as well. Maybe you can link the video.
Interesting fun fact is that I wrote a blog as well about comparing different grid editors, and I also linked our video there because I think this is still the best resource on how to use it and what's possible there. Because for me, videos are killing it right now. We even decided to document our processes using videos because it's easier to watch how something is done.
One thing that I noticed from this product update, which is new, something that I don't think has been done before. There's this decent chunk of issues that were fixed in the .NET Core Alpha 2. Now, most of those have been backported over to 8.8, which is coming out next week, and that includes like back office improvements and bug fixes. Maybe even the models builder improvement. I don't know. It's not entirely clear. But the fact that some of those things have been ported back means that we're getting the benefit in the current version of the product from all the work that Bjarke and Elitza and the team are actually doing on there.
Yeah. Bjarke said that even on umbraCoffee that it works both ways. So whatever is developed right now for 8.8, for example, it's also ported to the .NET Core version. So those two versions are living in sync, and that's amazing.
It was the same during the V7 V8 dev cycle as well. I know Stefan was regularly merging stuff up.
Yeah, it's extremely tough and hard to keep it synchronized, but efforts are really appreciated because still we will probably observe people who will be still using 8 version on .NET Framework version and people who wants to try the .NET Core version and wants to play with that.
Of course.
Speaking about maybe hard to say legacy, but the current versions of Umbraco, we have a new release targeted for
this is
Tuesday.
Really interesting. Yeah, I know. I liked what was it last week or the week before? I said I like to speculate, and I feel like I've now become one of those iPhone leakers on YouTube. Like,
magicians.
What it's going to be like. But I'm going to speculate on this. This is interesting because
let's go.
8.7 is not the current. 8.7 is the current version. 8.6 is not the current version. Yet we're getting a patch for 8.6 and not 8.7. If that's clear, I'm not sure, and I'm not entirely sure. There's issues there, but they don't seem like massive showstoppers or huge issues, breaking changes. So I'm really interested as to why they're doing this. And the only logical explanation I have for it is something we discussed before, which is moving towards semantic versioning. So actually making sure that there's a bug in that. There's a bug in that release, it gets patched in that release and not necessarily in 8.7.3. So this is interesting.
Interesting, yeah. That's let's wait for the explanations or story behind it. But
maybe someone from HQ can confirm what's going on. Like, are these patches in 8.7 already, and they just needed to be in 8.6 as well?
Exactly. Maybe something was fixed
from upgrading to 8.7 for those patches. It's a big question. I guess cloud comes into the mix somewhere too.
Yeah. But let's see it. That's next week, so we will definitely find out what's going on there.
Two releases next week. We've got 8.8 Thursday, so that's
exactly
the release candidate that we've had for the past 2 weeks now, coming Thursday as well. Tuesday and Thursday if you're running both 8.6 and 8.7, I guess.
But that also relates to what we were talking about last week or 2 weeks ago, that some calendar of releases is kind of different. So Thursdays are not for the past updates, for the new releases. Maybe Tuesdays are for patches. That's still looks like more.
Which makes a lot of sense if you think about it.
Yes.
You want to give people the new shiny thing a bit later in the week. You've got Freedom Friday, or you've got your weekend to have a play with it. People come back into work maybe on Monday ready to go. Yep, we'll install it and get running with it. For the patches, they apply on Umbraco Cloud automatically. The cloud team probably doesn't need to do too much to roll those out. So an earlier in the week release is fine, but the big releases take a bit more time, I guess. And Seb's confirmed.
Of course, we have a live stream confirmation that they couldn't fit to 8.7, so are coming in the next releases as well.
Fantastic.
Nice, clean. Glad that we are live and we have people from HQ watching who can confirm and tell us the truth. Community releases. Vendor was released in the new version. And
I have to apologize to Matt, because last week, literally 5 minutes before we went live, Matt and I were discussing this version of Vendor and some features in it that I need to use, and then we didn't include it. So here you go, Matt. Sorry. This was from the 17th or the 18th, couple weeks back now. Yeah,
but still, we used this release already. We recently are focused on e-commerce solutions, so it's extremely good to say that this product is just doing its work.
This was a fantastic release, especially because it brings something that I feel like we're missing for customers. They want a dashboard to see an overview of their store. They want stats and analytics, and they're actually really insightful. I was having a look at a site earlier this week, and okay, we're down on this product type. Why could that be? And really, really interesting. I think clients are going to love this one.
E-commerce itself is just such a interesting area and topic. So many possible improvements and things like the products analytics and stuff like that. But it's good to see that in the product, which is just possible to be installed on top of the Umbraco installation. And the checkout package update as well, which I've also showed, and which supports displaced regions and some new and some of the issues being fixed inside of this release, still available for all of us. And Mark Goodson also released an upgraded version of his package for searching through the dictionary items, which is now adapted to V8 and is using some context integrations with
tree.
With
He's using the iSearchable tree interface, which was added through a pull request that him and Jevon did actually in 8. In 7.7 or 7.5 or something. It's been there a while, but Mark's updated it now to use that new way of working, and it does, I think, fit really nicely with the V8 UI and just how search and everything generally works in the CMS in V8, because it lends itself a hell of a lot better to displaying 2 bits of information than the search in the in the top left-hand corner in V7 that replaces the entire tree. Just felt a bit clunky. And actually, for dictionary items in 8, the translation section sometimes feels a little bit buried away and hidden. Especially, we were talking about vendor. If you've got vendor and maybe a custom section as well, translation's way off the list and hidden. So finding stuff this way is really intuitive and nice.
Yeah, and Mark also released a blog post, which is
I love how he starts. Is this going to be another pile of nonsense?
It's never a nonsense if it comes to Mark's posts. But here's the story of the package, some kind of upgrades and whys and approaches taken. Plus, of course, technical information, how it works and what does it do. What might be a very interesting piece of work and information for developers and people who are curious how to do it, how it's done. So we'll link it up all together. You can follow and see what's there. And two new packages this week as well. It's open or closed property editor for managing opening hours of the business from Robert Foster.
There was something in V7 very similar, wasn't there? I believe Robert's actually said it was inspired or maybe even forked, from the Dex More Business Hours package. So,
exactly. But that's good to have it in V8 again. And there is a second one, which is conditional displayers, and it's version 2.3.
It's
Six already.
2.6.3 or 3.6 or something. Some
Yeah,
bug fixes, contributed by Robert as well. Community contributions for the win.
Yeah, I always wanted to use it, and I don't know why I ended up without it. But that's something what was really asked for by a lot of community members, because it's really helpful when it comes to the conditional displays.
I tried to build this in Core once upon a time, and realized that the validation model was just so complex that it wasn't going to work. However, the validation model has now changed with 8.7, and they've got the really pretty like little bubble that pops up, and they can validate nested scopes. So I wonder if it would now be possible, and maybe there's an opportunity coming up where someone could actually explore that.
Yeah. Speaking about opportunities here, we have a great opportunity ahead, because yesterday, if I'm correct, we were informed through the emails of whoever signed up for the early information about the Hacktoberfest this year, that registration is open now, and we can all participate and hack or support open source in general by contributing and giving back to products which we use, maybe, or creating new products or new ideas, new packages, which will help all of us in developing maybe more crazy and interesting stuff. And I can't remember, to be honest, a year where I was more motivated to do more during the Hacktoberfest, but every year it's like, damn it, I will postpone it till Hacktoberfest. I will do it then. And now I have
keeping a list of little things that bug me, and I'm like, that's achievable in an hour. That's going to be a Hacktoberfest, and I've got maybe 10 things, and I'm sure I'll rattle through them and go, oh, that's not worth doing. But I've been saving up as well, just like you.
Yeah, I have a Trello card. This is my Hacktoberfest, bucket list. And even if I will make one or exactly 4 of those contributions, which are enough to get a T-shirt or plant a tree.
I thought it was 5.
Yesterday I logged in, and in my profile it was saying 0 from 4. That was I'm in the incognito mode. I won't show it. But yeah, that was something what I observed. I don't know. Maybe it's something what we need to validate. Yeah, here you can see 0.
Interesting.
And it was 5. It was 5 in the past.
It was maybe 2 years ago. I think last year it was 4. But don't forget as well that contributing to Umbraco, the CMS, or any of the projects, and as well community packages that have opted in, also entitles you to some Umbraco Hacktoberfest celebration. It's been a T-shirt, some stickers previously. I don't know what the rules are because they've not been published yet. I know you're watching.
Me too.
I think before it was you just had to make a contribution to get a sticker and 5 to get a T-shirt, but maybe it's changed. I don't know. Especially now with it applying to packages and contributions across the board.
But also worth to mention here that I don't know any other community, to be honest, which is doing a inception of Hacktoberfest, and that's something cool to see, because again, for me personally and for our teams who are working on Umbraco, usually it's even more motivation to have 2 in 1, because we can contribute to open source in general, and we can help our product, which we use on a daily basis, by any kind of contributions. And maybe here it's worth to mention that any contribution counts. So if you have teams where people are editors or content editors, or maybe even project managers who are using Umbraco or maybe exploring Umbraco sometimes, they can help as well. And I want to set up a personal goal for team members to just contribute, to do whatever can be done to make those full contributions. It's not that much, and small 4 contributions are better than none always.
I know that Owen was saying the other day, I've been looking on the issue tracker at the up for grabs issues, and none of them really take my fancy, and that's my experience too. Generally I don't like to fix the up for grabs things. I like to fix something that I found and is bugging me personally. So it might be that maybe a content editor that you work with has a bug, and maybe you could work together to actually fix that. Or perhaps there's just a flaw in some documentation that needs improving. And again, these are thankfully quite low barrier to entry tasks that, with a bit of help, anyone can really pick up.
But what I also try to start in teams where I work with is like think about what you have done with Umbraco and maybe try to extract it to some packages or things which might be used by someone else. And this is also a good time in the year where we can revisit what we've done maybe on some projects and just take it out and package it up and make some maybe packages or libraries or whatever it can be helpful for us and someone else as well. So
Definitely.
yeah, big call to action for everyone to contribute, and people already starting it. And Team is a good example because this repository is also a part of package Umbraco package ecosystem, which will count when it comes to Hacktoberfest. But this is the community initiative to build a starter kit, which was.
I am very interested by the sheer amount of people involved in the discussion here, from kind of a huge background, and the amount of things being discussed and considered. I have very strong opinions on starter kits, and I think I've shared them before.
Yeah,
but it's already getting interesting just watching these discussions, like which packages should be installed. Oh well, do we actually need loads of packages installed? Should it be really lightweight out of the box? Or no, should we be depending on and supporting the popular community solutions? You know, are we building sites for when someone wants
really
multi-site
use case? Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
like how do different people build this? And the same thing goes for the UI. I feel a lot of the starter kits tie themselves deeply into, it's a theme that looks and works like this, but that's not a starter kit. That's a theme. So
we can approach it from the different perspectives. That's the beauty of it, because again, this discussions exposed a lot of insights and a lot of approaches which people are taking when they are building Umbraco products. And back in the past, I started some kind of a poll, or it was a form where I gathered the biggest issues with people from people who are doing Umbraco projects, and they are all right now here. They are all discussed by community members, and of course using a great GitHub discussions feature, which is in preview. But yeah, it's there. Everyone can contribute, and this is also a contribution. And I think, but even by reading those threads, those concerns, those decisions, it might help us in building better Umbraco projects. And maybe after all, realizing that the starter kit should be renamed to something else, or maybe divided into couple projects. Why not? But it's based on the community discussions, not single thoughts or ideas, which are maybe not good or best at the time where they are made.
Yeah.
So that's amazing to see. I still need to put more time in that. I didn't catch up all of those threads.
It's going to take you all afternoon. There's a lot in
yeah. Big coffee needed, and a couple more, maybe more of them. But yeah, everyone can contribute. So yeah, help team and other community members to build something awesome.
Before we move on from this, I would just like to highlight the fact that that's using GitHub discussions. We discussed that last week, and it looks like it's working really, really well. I would love to see this adopted by Umbraco for RFCs, for, this is what it's designed for. People collaborating on ideas, and then you can create actions, as in issues or tasks on a board directly after this.
I was curious on this integration where from where you can create an issue, or from where you can link the pull request, for example, or issue.
I think it has to be the project owner, but I'm
maybe
not sure. But it's really good to see this collaborative way of working in GitHub. I feel like it's something that we've needed in Umbraco for a long time, and I'm really interested to see what the outcome of this is. If it is proven to be a success, will other projects start adopting it?
Yeah, good timing, and I think it's great to that it's connected, and maybe we can just play around here and understand for what it can be used in other areas of our development work. And yeah, that's from the releases and new discussions. But we have some opportunities to discuss more and see more pretty soon, because Dutch Festival, a virtual Umbraco conference, which we were mentioning multiple times, is next Friday, October 2nd. And we know it all right now. So we have keynote speakers, we have the whole agenda from the community speakers, all of the panels as well described, and it's so packed that I don't know when we can go and grab a coffee or do an umbraCoffee in general. No time for that.
We will. So umbraCoffee will somehow try to capture everything going on with the event, and yeah, it's going to be during Laurent's talk, so hopefully we find some time. But yeah, some amazing looking talks. Marcin, you're doing one, of course. I'm doing one. I'm on a panel as well. There's a whole breadth of topics there, and not just umbraco topics. You've got Blazor in there, which has been a hot topic the past year or so. You've got accessibility by Rachel. You've got Azure, and a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but that's what I liked the most, to be honest, about the Dutch festival, that it was mixing those two worlds really, really well, and also there were a lot of talks which were touching the soft skills and soft aspects around the development work. So again, here we will see Eleftheria who will be talking about good-looking projects and maybe UX around building products, which is still something what should interest us as Umbraco developers. But maybe we don't usually spend much time on finding out more about things like that.
And Ellie's a really good speaker, so that's guaranteed to be a great talk. She's spoken at Dugfest before, Code Garden as well, and of course there's many other fantastic people. You've got even Scott Hanselman doing a talk in the afternoon. And did we mention it's completely free? You don't have an excuse. You literally have no excuse. My boss won't let me. Well, it's a Friday. My boss won't pay for it. Well, it's free. You can sit there doing your work with your headphones on, listening to the amazing talks.
And if I'm correct, probably Arnold or Hank will confirm the sessions will be recorded, and we should be able to see them after the event, or maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, they will. They will.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's, again, register. The link is on the website. You will get notified and you will stay in touch. It's not like for tickets purposes, but it's more like to not forget and to be able to be notified about the materials which will land up after the event. Yeah, and we cannot wait to get there and to feel a little bit of Umbraco event spirit organized for the first time in this type of the event. Yeah. And organizers are constantly also just boosting this atmosphere. Those videos, those introductions are something what is definitely helping. And for me personally, being in between of those names there is like
it's incredible. It's like a movie trailer, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Hank has been doing a lot of these virtual events. We discussed this before. He's done the global AI events, the virtual Azure events. So some big, like 24-hour solid 3 or 4 streams. And they've been doing a fantastic job with those. And I think it's got to the point now where it's like it's boilerplate. They have an awesome video. They've got all of these amazing graphics, this hype. If it's as good as the previous events that Henk has done, this is going to be absolutely awesome.
But that also proves that it's not enough to just do the event or announce the event. It's a lot of work around that, and we all know that because we've done some of the events in the real world. It's not like that just you're creating a website and everyone will subscribe and register and just be there. So be sure to, if you are interested. Sorry.
You mean it's more difficult than that?
But yeah, I think as a call to action for people, if you are thinking about participating, just register, submit, and share the information about it, because that's exactly what is needed for the events like that to happen more often, maybe.
Yeah.
And other smaller events on the map. So meetups, we had
this week. I think
this
it was
week, yeah.
Yesterday or the day before. Rachel did an awesome talk at the .NET North meetup about accessibility and her perspective on it as a .NET developer, maybe not as someone who would traditionally have considered accessibility, which is similar to the talk she'll be doing at Dugfest, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's the trial run maybe, or just initial version of this talk. So we will be able to see that if we miss that on the Dutch festival. And second meetup is on October 1st. It's a monthly meetup in Umbraco Leeds community. And I don't know if there's any agenda there or anything planned, especially for that. Callum, do you know anything about it? Maybe.
It's Matt Brailsford. Matt Brailsford's going to be doing a talk on Cypress testing in Umbraco, and they said it will be recorded, so even if you can't miss, even if you can't be there, you don't have to miss it. It's going to be on YouTube somewhere afterwards. I guess maybe the Umbraco community YouTube channel.
Yeah, and again, it's great to see that people like Matt who are adapting some new technologies to do their products are immediately sharing the experience with other people. And I remember the snowball effect, because people will start playing around, start using it, and they will make their products better. And of course, testing is an area in which I presume all of us should become better and better still. So yeah, good to see that coming. It's good that we're speaking about testing, because Adrian Post is next in the list. I promise that we will do more explanation on how the package which Adrian created for Azure Search implementations can be used. So here it is. There's a nice explanation for what it can be used, how it can be used, with the really nice real world example. Something has been broken with the code previews, but besides that, everything is there. So feel free to check it out if you want to use Azure Search with your products, not only Umbraco. It's there.
This is great. I asked a question on Twitter to Adrian, and of course he pointed out that this is not an Umbraco solution. This is a .NET solution for doing Azure Search with an Umbraco implementation, which is nice. And a lot of the stuff I've been doing recently around search as well, with examine and configuration and facets, has taken the same approach. Like, we don't need to be tying ourselves to Umbraco if we don't have to. Search is a nice cross-cutting concept that can be used in any .NET app. So this looks awesome.
But that's exactly the approach which we probably should all take more and more, because thinking ahead, Umbraco will switch between some frameworks, will switch between some maybe behind-the-scenes solutions. So we might want to stay independent from the Umbraco stack and just reuse some of the logic, and maybe just then rewrite or adapt some of the parts of applications or solutions which are directly talking with Umbraco. If it will be needed, maybe it won't be even needed. So yeah, take a look on tests as well here. They are still that much impressive that I cannot follow sometimes. And what else we have? We have new request for help from Umbraco practitioners.
From Mike. So he started this U practitioners group a while back, and they had a couple of meetups, and the idea was to create this community within a community for people that aren't a dev. And I think that's a fantastic idea. The project needs a bit of help to get it back off the ground. I guess, with COVID and various time constraints, people have it's slipped a bit. So if you're interested in helping give this a kickstart, there's a form. Go fill it in, have a look at the ideas, see if you think you could help out. It would be great to see this get off the ground again. Yeah,
and this is what's worth to mention is for non-developer roles, as moreover than developers, and so probably it's also for us developers who are possibly watching this video on YouTube. Talk to people around you who are using Umbraco, that they can participate in community like that and help in making Umbraco better from the different perspective than code-oriented perspective. So yeah, that's it. And there's a new hire as well in Umbraco announced this week, and this is the addition to the hardcore team. And the new member is named Pernil. Right?
Yeah, and she'll be focusing on marketing of hardcore, which is an interesting thing, because so she's part of Coma, but her role is solely focused on what I don't think this existed at Umbraco HQ before. So let's see how this goes. I know Umbraco are heavily investing in making hardcore become a leading headless CMS. So hopefully that's what Pernil's going to be helping achieve.
Yeah, but that's good to see this separation as well, because we've been mentioning it multiple times that it might be worth to separate some of the parts of the company and focus on specific areas here. Her role might be to push hardcore more and more. And this week, you've probably also seen this as well, Callum. There was internal MVP catch-ups on
Yes.
and feedback chats, which I couldn't attend. Did you?
I missed it. I actually fell asleep. It was at 9 o'clock, and I was tired, so I woke up and then had a little lie down and fell asleep and missed it. But there's a recording, so thankfully I can go back and watch it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's
MVPs have been getting some training and some updates on what hardcore is and does, how you can get started with it.
Plus, still, it's another way of having feedback from the community, and that's definitely helping Umbraco as well to shape the next steps or maybe movements and how it can be combined with the community efforts and stuff like that.
Yep.
And two more things. Sorry for my daughter, Callum. Can you continue?
Yes, I'll continue. We had two more things just to announce, which are not big things on the list. We have and I've frozen. We have, of course, this week we had Microsoft Ignite, and with that you can get some free training if you want. You go on to, we'll post the link below, but you can go onto a link. All you have to do is run through some content for a cloud, one of their cloud skills sessions, and then at the end you'll be sent a voucher code for a free Azure certification that you can take from Microsoft. It's a nice way of building up your skills with Azure, your knowledge, but also getting a industry recognized certification out of it as well, completely free. Normally costs you about £150.
I didn't know about it, to be honest. That was something new for me as well. And is it still the exam which is fully qualified certificate exam, which is usually taken in the examining center?
This can work towards your Microsoft Certified Developer certification, or it can work towards an Azure Certified Engineer or Solutions Architect. There's various different learning paths you can go through, but there's some of the courses are 2 or 3 hours. You've got a long period of time to do them, I think till the 15th or 16th of October. Drive through the content, get a voucher, and then you've got a while to use it. I've still got one saved from January this year that I'm yet to redeem. So
cool, good to know that. Yeah, and again, the link which I placed here initially is the Ignite book of news. So you can all follow what happened there, and non-tech maybe, but still tech combined at the end of this amazing week.
Well, it's very relevant this week because, of course, TikTok Enterprise Server Edition is right around the corner now. Oracle's bought it or whatever. But Paul Seal has been making a name for himself on TikTok, and some of these have been pretty amusing, I must admit. As a former rapper, Marcin, what do you think?
I approved. I was just triggered by those rap videos, and I still don't know how it works on TikTok because I uninstalled it after a while. But yeah, it's good to see that. And you know what? It remembered me because we hear about dangers of TikTok, of applications like that. Of course, it's made to consume more time from the viewers and attract them more and more. But do you remember application called Vine? Where you were able to record 8 seconds, or I cannot remember how long it was, but it was boosting creativity, and there are some creators which are doing an amazing work there, and Paul with all those songs and recordings is literally making me smile and fun. And I don't need to have a TikTok because Paul is sharing it across various other medias. So keep it up, Paul. Fingers crossed for your TikTok career, and whoever is using TikTok from Umbraco community, go and follow Paul.
Next week, I'm leaving the Umbraco world to become a TikTok star.
But as a side note here, maybe as an ending to this episode, because I'm running a programming school for children, and we are gathering some of the feedback from children and parents as well. Last year, 80% of children who were asked who you want to be in the future, they were answering it that they want to be a YouTube stars and YouTube makers, and this year they all want to be TikTokers. They want to be TikTok artists.
That's amazing.
It's
damning indictment about our future generations, but whatever.
Only China and children there are answering that they want to be astronauts. So yes.
And in Russia, they want to be in the military, and they will do whatever Putin tells them to.
Yeah, but that's sometimes futurism is good. I often think how our role will change because there is a no code and all the stuff which is still announced. GPT-3, I don't know if you were familiar with that. I shared a lot of tweets about it. How it will affect developers in general, how it will affect ecosystems like CMS-driven solutions and stuff like that. It's also interesting that we need to keep an eye. We need to follow what's happening, and share what we will learn because maybe it will be essential to stay attractive on the market, I would say.
Definitely.
Cool. So that's all. It was pretty good and solid amount of knowledge. Of course, links will be shared underneath the videos. Like, subscribe, and help spread this channel.
It was only 2-3 weeks ago we hit 500. We're on 535 now. So we really appreciate it. You please subscribe if you like it. We've got to catch up Paul's here with his 4,000 plus subscribers. slowly getting there. But yeah, please like, share the video, and subscribe if you think we're doing a good job. And if we're not, tell us in the comments.
Exactly.
We'll delete them.
Exactly. Yeah, that's our space in the web. No, we'll listen. But yeah, thank you all for being with us here, and of course, see you as usual next Friday. Have a great weekend all.